whoever wants to kill me can kill me. And then the war started, the 28th, and everybody now wanted us dead.
You know, we don't like congratulating, we only hate. We don't like saying positive things about people that are inspiring. We like focusing only on the international names, Americans or Europeans. But we forget that locally we've got a lot of people that have got incredible, inspiring stories. Apart from many others, the GAYTON MCKENZIE story is extremely inspiring. I mean, from being in prison to having almost lost your life, I didn't know that. I actually knew that by watching an episode that he had with MACG. And obviously now that he's the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture and he's been trending, all sorts of videos are coming out. And I saw a video from COLBERT. COLBERT is a staunch content creator. He also shares a lot of content of podcasters on Twitter, on X. He's got a very beautiful platform. Shout outs and congratulations to you, Mr. COLBERT, for keeping us updated with all the different podcasts in the country. So thank you also for sharing. You've been a very big part of sharing the Hustlers Corner content on X, on Twitter, on contributing and growing our platform. I always have to thank you and appreciate you. And thank you for sharing this content as well that I post from my own YouTube platform. So I just wanted to thank you and give you a prop. So you posted a video. Now that we're talking about the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture's Minister, Mr. GAYTON MCKENZIE, is trending, is a new minister, and we love that. Transparency that is encouraging and promoting in departments and governments. And, you know, that list came out of a lot of beneficiaries, of over 4,000 beneficiaries during the COVID era. A lot of athletes, sports stars, musicians, creative artists, and their companies who benefited. And sometimes it's nice to say thank you, congratulations. But the story of GAYTON MCKENZIE and KUNENE. Number one, I didn't know how they became best friends. Number two, I didn't know how they met. I always known that they were in prison together. I knew that they came out of prison. They started from the, not even from the ground. Because when you come from the prison, from a jail, you come out with a criminal record. So you're not starting on the ground like everybody else. You are starting from underground to even climb the whole back up to just be on the ground for you to even start again afresh. But for people like him, people like Skim GP, people like, there's many other names of people who went inside and they came out and they turned their lives around and they even became more successful than people who have been outside all of their lives. Imagine how difficult it is for you to start a new life with a criminal record. It's not easy. I mean, let alone just having a bad credit record, not being able to buy a house or buy a car. You know, that's why I always encourage young people to say, guard your credit score with your life, because that's the only thing that's going to make you have a good relationship with the bank. And that's the only thing that's going to allow you to be able to buy a house on credit, a car on credit, and also get credit for you to, you know, grow your business if you're entrepreneurial in your mindset. So the man's life story is inspiring. I think he's written more than one book. I think 2 books, if I'm not mistaken. I stand to be corrected. But when I saw this clip, it gave me a chance to go check out the full episode on MACG's podcast and chill. And I checked out the conversation of how he became friends with Kenny, how he almost lost his life, of how he was stabbed in prison, how they wanted to annihilate him because of what he had done. MACG even uses the word snitching. So you snitched. You know, it's like, you can put it that way. But I mean, that was the only way for me to be able to exchange my freedom for information of a lot of the bad things that the guys were doing inside, the inmates, you know, all of the terrible work that they were doing at the time. This is like many, many years ago. I think almost 20 years ago, if I don't know, a little bit less or longer, I don't know. I want you to check out this video. I'm just only going to put in a clip that was shared by COLBERT on Twitter, on X. And I want you guys to let me know what you think. You can check out the rest of the podcast interview on MACG's podcast and chill. I think it's almost an hour, if not longer. But check out this 2-minute clip and let me know what you think. And I want you to be inspired from that to becoming a minister and getting into government, going to parliament. How many people do that? From the ground, from nothing, from mobilizing, like starting even a mining company, deciding to become a politician and mobilizing the ground to end up in parliament and even a minister. Come on, guys. Sometimes we have to give props where it's true. You know, we always look for inspiration from outside, from all these names that we're always fed on Forbes, on Fortune 500, on Boma BBC, Boma CNBC, and all these different platforms and these amazing books of all these great people that are inspiring from overseas that we learn from. But there's also a lot of ordinary South African stories that we can be inspired by. And for me, I look at it and I'm like, I know GAYTON has written a book or two. I'm not sure. I stand to be mistaken how many books he's written. But if he were to write a book right now, I believe this will be his biggest book yet, because his story continues to unfold. And he never ceases to amaze me on his hustle. He once wrote a book called The Hustler's Bible, and big up to him for that. He is a real hustler, real hustler. From prison cells, almost losing your life. Not only to business and being successful in business, becoming a millionaire, but to parliament, minister, government leadership. Come on, guys. Sometimes you have to give props where it's due, and sometimes you have to look for inspiration from near, from around, from people that look like you and I, that speak like you and I, that come from similar communities for you to be inspired. That's why I write such books, man. I write my books because I don't want just people to talk about my life story when I'm no longer around. I want to share my experience. I want to share my story. I want to inspire, encourage other children out there. So people like him writing books, sharing their stories, and as their stories unfold in front of our eyes, I think that's something that we should be proud of as South Africans. I know we don't all share the same sentiments, but for me, as a writer, as an author myself, and as somebody who looks at all sorts of different people for inspiration, I've singled him out as one of those people to be inspired by. He inspires me. And now I know how they met with KUNENE. Now I know how they became friends and best friends. Now I know that KUNENE saved his life. Check out this video and let's meet in the comment section. Let me know what you think.
Smartest people I've ever had standing here. So I'm going to give you 17 years and not life. And I thought about his words that moment. And we then decided we're going to make a video to expose all the corruption, all the rapes in jail. We made this video, long story short.
You decided to snitch?
Yes. Like, you call it snitch, this snitch. Nothing I can say about it. Because I went against who I was.
Yes.
Yeah. And, you know, when we brought out that video, it was shown all over the world. It was shown everywhere. And when we came out, and then the war started, the 28th, and everybody now wanted us dead. And I love reading. I love reading. So I'm sitting in the cell every day. We are now being kept away from the other guys. And then one day I'm like, man, I'm going to go to the library. Whoever wants to kill me can kill me. I'm going to go to the library. So I walk to the library. I choose the books I want. On my way back, I see 3 guys that I know. But on their facial expressions, guys are not the way I know them. You know how when you meet Saul, how he is.
Yes.
But I'm like, what's happening here? And then there comes a guy pushing a trolley. The T-boy in jail. The T-boy pushing a trolley. And he says, there's guys waiting for you around the corner with knives. That was Kenny. He was a T-boy, I didn't know him. That moment, he was having a half-eaten cake and a knife there. So I took the knife, because there's nowhere to run.
Yeah.
I go around the corner and they stab me here, you can see my hands. And I stabbed 3 of them, they stabbed me, but I managed to get out. So Kenny basically saved my life, I was dead.
Wow, man.
And then I called him to my office. I said, you know, you gave me the knife, they're going to kill you. I'm going to make you a gang member today. Because that's the only way I can protect you. So I didn't make Kenny a gang member. And I said, your bed must be here. Because you saved my life. And